The 4 followers of the witch's cult have shown themselves. Although the group only knows of 3 of them, we know that there's a 4th one out there, Gluttony. And it seems that the 4 bosses are now here. What are our heroes going to do to deal with them? And right now, they're on the back pedal because, you know, the battle's just starting. But the enemy has declared war, has declared that they are here, and surprisingly, I'm surprised that the city is evacuating, because the way the theme song and everything was going, I thought for sure that this is going to be a bloodbath in the streets. Like, you know, people are still going to be around, and it's just all havoc and chaos, but surprisingly, it's a little bit more ordered than I thought it was going to be. Archbishops have declared, hey, we're here. People are like, hey, we need to leave town. So they're trying to evacuate. So I was like, oh, well, that's more ordered than I thought. But that still doesn't mean Subaru and friends are not without their own troubles at the time that things are taking place. Before we get into this, make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed so we can discuss this and several other content that we have here on the channel. And if you like to, we have a lot more content on our Patreon channel. Make sure you click on the link below and take a look at it at least, and then go from there. Let us get started as far as for all that has happened in this episode. You know, I hate to be I told you so, but yes, I did say that it seems to be a problem when some of the most important things of the city are in big, huge towers overlooking the whole city. That kind of marks them as, hey, that's where important things are at. And this is what the case is. It looks like all 4 points of the city have been taken over by the witch's cult, which I assume 1 tower for each of the members of the cult. And like Wilhelm was saying, they have pretty much control of the waterways to where they can sink the whole city if they wanted to. So that's a problem, and they need to figure something out here. Now the question is, this is like a RPG game. It's like, all right, which boss do you want to battle first? You know, for those that have played the previous old school Mega Man games, you know, where you're like, if we attack one of the Mega Man bosses, you know, we get their power and their weakness would, you know, be super effective against another boss. Well, in this case, we have 4 towers, 4 members of the witch's cult that are all, you know, of some power in their own right. So how are we going to address this? You know, they got to kind of divide and conquer, I guess. But there is actually a lot more dividing that's happening because Garfield, who has been on his own, you know, he's had his own little escapade, if you will. We learn that Garfield might be going after lust sooner than later. Now, Garfield's definitely going to be someone that's a nexus point for this season. He has a lot going on right now, just emotionally, not just physically. He's already going through some mental gymnastics with Elsa, which I still don't know if it's more of his own mental things, the fact that he's learned that he's weak due to the fact he ran into Reinhardt, or if it's if she is manifesting herself from the after realm, like, you know, a ghost of her or something like that, where she torments him, sees how he beat her, but luckily. So I don't know which it is, but regardless, she's kind of there pestering him mentally. And then the whole issue with his mom, to learn that she truly is his mom, who was out there supposedly going and searching for their father and supposed to come back. And then the whole hurdles he went through last season where he's waiting for her, and he finds her, and she's forgotten everything. Yet she still has the recollection. She's like, oh, I just kind of knew this would be the type of tea you like. And oh, I just kind of remembered this recipe. I don't know how. I still would not be surprised if she ran into Gluttony and had her memories erased that way before the landslide took her. And it would not surprise me if, like, they're in the middle of fighting and Gluttony's like, hey, I remember you. Didn't I already take your memories or something? Another reason that Gluttony needs to die for another person. But, you know, it could just be just a regular mental hurdle that maybe she just snaps out of if she sees him fighting. Getting back to what I was saying before, he's over here realizing, oh snap, the archbishops are here. I need to get to Subaru, I need to get to Amelia. And then all of a sudden he runs into her And she's like, where are my kids? Where are my husband? They just so happen to be around that place that the announcement's supposed to be coming from. How convenient. But I was saying my reaction that it makes sense that in the theme song, and I think even in the ending song, you always see Garfield interacting with Lust, and you see him fighting the dragon that I assume is under Lust's control, or either that or she transforms into the dragon. Regardless, it's the both of them that keeps fighting. You keep seeing him attacking said dragon. You know, I thought it was just like a pairing type deal, like, oh, you know, they have Subaru with Greed type, and I didn't know that, honestly, it's quite possible that he's going to be the one fighting with Lust because he's trying to save his mom's new family, which makes sense. But I will have to say that this moment here was kind of heartbreaking. Like, I feel for Garfield. I still believe he should have came out and said that, yes, she is, you know, my mother. And old dude has to have some inclination, because look at their hair. Come on now. You have a young man with blonde, like literally golden hair, along with the golden hair of your own wife. And you're like, what is your relationship with my wife? What do you think? He knows her previous name? He knows some information about her? Come on, dude. You just like catch a hint, catch a clue. So yes, I believe that he should have came out, but even he said that that wasn't the moment, which is like, to me, like it looked as good as any moment as he's gonna be, but that's because we know that there's actually danger around. And that probably would be the best moment, but right now he got his cry out, he's got it all out. You know, he feels sad. It's a shame that he can't even call her mom because she's not even gonna remember that he is her child. So, and it was cute that Mimi here pretty much confesses to Garfield saying that she loves him. And I thought there was, you know, a cute little attachment there, but she really does care for him. Even though she's like, come into my bosom. And I'm like, yeah, the lack thereof, but sure, okay. But, you know, hey, Garfield had his moment, and hopefully this will press him forward. There's really going to be a lot that is going to be coming out of Garfield for this season. Now, it's good that Subaru actually did get some training in other than just by himself. Like when we saw the first episode, he's like, yeah, I'm training, and he has this new whip. I'm like, dude, there's no way in 1 year's time you did training by yourself. Well, he was with Betty, and it looks like they've got their own special move now to where they can phase through stuff for half a step. And it's like, okay, I mean, it helped him to dodge him dying when Greed was like, yeah, I'm going to kill you now. And then they phased through him, which I was like, well, that's great, kinda. And it was weird that he's explaining his move to his enemy, but it mainly was an explanation for us as the viewer to be like, what in the world is he doing? Like I said, it's good that he's been training with her, and it's a shame though that now she's out of the equation. She not only was healing Subaru's leg, but she ended up healing the legs of all the people that were in a Times Square. Because of her using pretty much all of her mana, she's almost in a slumber coma type state. For now, she's useless because she's bedridden, unless, as they said, that she can get an influx of mana from something. I mean, I'm glad that they gave that hint in, but where he's gonna get an influx of mana? Unless those crystals, that's the only thing I can think of, to where they can maybe infuse some mana into her. Or something of some nature is going to happen in the future where she can wake back up when she's full of mana. But for now, Subaru's kind of on his own. He's down a powerful ally. So they got to sit here and formulate a plan against 4 archbishops, 3 that they know of. Poor Otto, I hope he's alive. I hope Otto's alive. The only thing I think the worst that could happen is Otto comes back to them with forgotten memories because of gluttony. That's just another reason to kill gluttony. But once they learn that gluttony's on the scene, I'm sure Subaru's going to be like, yeah, I want to go after that one. But it's probably going to be the fact that he's going to want to go for Greed more because Greed has Amelia, and Krush can go after Gluttony so she can get her memories back and everybody else that needs their memories back. Overall, great episode. And it's really, the pacing to me feels really nice. there's so much mystery still going on. Like, why in the world did they stop when I don't know, the bell was ringing? I assumed that there was some plan set in motion. They all had a time limit, but then they were fighting with each other and not teaming together, and then they went separate ways. Like, there's so much still, like, okay, I love the fact that this is just the third season and we're already cooking here, but I need this cooked faster. Come on, give me more answers. I want more answers. But regardless, great episode. Subaru, I gotta give it up. You know, the fact that he's training and used more moves. He even used Peltageist's uppercut, you know, by the hand, but that did nothing to Greed. Greed is like, it more or less just annoyed Greed more than anything else. So, but of course it made Wrath love him more because she apparently was in love with Peltageist, and now that Subaru has his move, she's all like, hey, through association, she has a love-hate for him? I don't know. Wrath is her own creature, I guess is the best way to say it. But yeah, they're gonna have to deal with all these people in their own way, and thus probably why that the theme song makes more sense now with everyone fighting, doing their own thing. It's probably because they're in the planning phase as far as who they're going to fight and where they're going to go to attack each of the towers and essentially save the city. And especially the fact the city, oh yeah, now that you mentioned the city was a trap for a witch, oh, that's convenient. Couldn't you have told us, I don't know, day one? To where, this could always be a battleground by the witches cult because there's a dead witch here. Thanks for the info, late, and now it is what it is. Regardless, like I said, great episode, and I'm looking forward to more. I really am. ReZero is back, and it's doing a fine job thus far. This is the third episode, and I'm still glued to it, and I'm still wanting to talk more about it. I'm still engaged. Gotta wait a whole another week for the fourth one. Check out my reaction. It's over on Patreon, and be sure to join up, sign up, and check out all the content I have there, because there's a lot of videos there. In the meantime, you guys be safe, take care of yourselves. Make sure you are not new here. Subscribe for more content, because we will definitely have a lot more content here on the channel with videos, analysis, and shorts. There's a lot here. But in the meantime, you guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.